Hey guys, look what I got. That's right, I got the Hubsan H122D X4 Storm. Let's call this the X4 Storm for the remainder of the video. This is 5.8 gigahertz FPV. It comes in two different kits. I'm going to have links to both below. So look for that, check that out if you like this, want to get it, all that stuff. This is the ready to fly version. There's another version that has an FPV monitor that comes with it. Both are very cool. This one fits better for me because I plan to fly with my Fatshark goggles and not the monitor, so that's why I chose this one. But coming up next, we're going to take a closer look at the FPV Quad. Alright, so here's a look at the FPV Quad itself right here. Here's the FPV antenna. Very nice. This has a nice carbon fiber frame. This is really amazing what you get ready to fly out of the box for the price. I'm pretty impressed with this, guys. It just seems like it's very high quality. Got carbon fiber in the main frame. Got nice motor mounts. The props are well labeled. So you've got, it says A there, says A there, so it's pretty easy to make sure you've got the right props when you need to change out props after you crash. Because something tells me that this thing is going to be high performance and fun, so that's probably going to happen sooner or later. And that's why the carbon fiber frame is nice, because that's going to make it nice and durable. Here's the FPV camera right there. It's got the electrostatic cover on it. That's nice. That way we have it nice and protected until we're going to fly it and test it out. Here is the battery right up here. It is a 2S battery, 710 milliamp hour, and it is a 30C battery, so it should get very nice performance out of this. I've got some 1S FPV quadcopters like this, and they do well. So 2S should be phenomenal. Kind of like my Baby Hawk. At least I'm hoping this will be like my Baby Hawk. Alright, coming up next, we are going to take a look at the controller, and then after that, we're going to look inside the spare parts pack. Alright, here's a look at the radio. This is actually a pretty cool little radio that comes with this ready to fly kit. It's labeled fairly well. That is nice. This has a camera still icon. This has a video icon. And of course, these are the sticks. If you don't know what these do, you probably are a little in over your head with something like this. This is not a beginner quadcopter. Definitely a beginning FPV racer, but not quadcopter. Definitely something you don't want to try and learn on, because the learning curve will be a little steep and you don't want to hurt yourself or anybody else. So on to the next thing. There's a nice bright main LED light in the front of that. That turns that off or on. Now that can be used to help conserve battery. That's always cool. This is a reset button right here. At least that's the manual said. I'm not sure if it has an OSD or not, but I assume that may be what that's for. We'll find out whether in this video or when we take it outside, but we will find that out. I promise you that. This is the Aileron Trim, so if it's wanting to float more one way than the other, you can adjust it with that. That's cool. Now, one thing that's a little quirky about this that I figured out is when you push this button, you want to hold it down a little bit. Okay, fine. This does not illuminate. You have to pop that up to see. Now it's that blue light means that it's trying to find the quadcopter to bind. So know that you probably should fly with this thing up. That way you know what's going on here. And that's it for the quick overview with the radio. Oh, one more thing. It takes 3 AAA batteries. So just pop that off. There we go. Alright, coming up next, we're going to look in the parts box. Alright, here's the spare parts pack. Let's open this up. See what comes inside. What gifts and goodies do we have in here? We've got a screwdriver. Nice. Got some spare props. Looks like we've got a set, complete set. That's good. Some spare screws. Not sure what those are for, but it's always nice to have that. And let's see if there's anything else. Oh, we got something else in there. Ah, we've got a USB charger. And that's it. Not bad, not bad. Coming up next, we are gonna fly this thing. Alright, so I've got the quadcopter all bound up to the radio, and I tested out the light switch here. Now it works, turns the front off and on, but it doesn't turn off the tail light, so that's good to know. And to start this up, go like that. And without further ado, let's fly this thing. Oh yeah. This is so stable, guys. This is extremely stable and smooth. Wow. That's crazy. This is so stable, I can't even begin to tell you guys. Normally an FPV racer is not like this. And I know it's not a true racer, but it still has 2S power. And I'm barely giving it any throttle to make it hover. This thing is amazing. Alright, and to turn off the props, you hold them out that way, and it shuts them off. Wow, guys, I am really impressed. I don't think I've had a single quadcopter that I've flown indoors be that stable, especially at this caliber. Once this thing gets outside and stretches its legs a little bit, I know it's fast. I've seen video of it. And the way that handled, the precision that it gave me, makes me extremely excited to be able to fly this outside. Alright, coming up next, we're going to take a closer look at the quad and cover some of the things that we did not earlier in the video. Alright, I want to show you guys just how powerful this little light is. This is the headlight on the quadcopter. That is how blank it goes. So we still got a little blue light beeping on it, and we've got the red tail light. In fact, I'm going to switch that around and show you that right now. And this is the red tail light. Alright, so after that little flight that we did there, and the light demo and all that, I bet you're wondering how much battery did that take? Well, it took only 4% of this capacity. That definitely makes me think that this thing is gonna have pretty decent flight times. I usually like to test them out before I speculate, because you never know, the quadcopter LiPo math isn't always the most accurate. However, I'm thinking it's going to be pretty darn good. I mean, 96% after a few minute flight, and I actually flew it a little bit off camera before I did the Maiden Flight video for you guys. So that tells you that this is a nice solid pack that I got. It didn't take that long to charge either. Of course, it showed up at about 85%. So it really didn't take that long. And I did use the charger that came with it to charge this. So that's some battery info for you guys. Coming up next, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the quadcopter. Alright, so after flying it, I am very impressed. I'm very impressed. Now we've got a USB plug there. I'm not sure what we can do with the firmware with that. I have to dig a little deeper to figure that part out. But honestly, as well as this thing flew, it was so stable. I'm still blown away by that, guys, and that was a few minutes ago. I don't think you want to mess with it, to be completely honest. I am not going to mess with it anyway. And here's a close look at the rear LEDs right there. Very cool. And they're red, as you saw a few minutes ago. And here is the bright white LED in the front. And while we're looking at the camera here, we can adjust this. It's a pretty decent range of motion for this camera. And of course, we can put an SD card on this thing and record video. Alright, coming up next, we're going to do our final review notes. Alright guys, we're going to do a quick little pros and cons with this. The first pro is it has 5.8 gigahertz FPV. That means that you can use it with your Fatshark goggles. That's something that I did. I tested off camera, and the camera definitely is not a slouch. That is good. As far as the other pros go, Obviously you saw this thing flies super smooth. That is great. It's got a really nice high quality carbon fiber frame. Really good for something at this price point. I am very impressed with everything that comes with this ready to fly kit. I'm also impressed with how the radio feels in your hand. Not only does it feel really tight, really connected with this in the air, it just feels good in your hand too. So that's not something you experience with ready to fly stuff very often, and I was pleasantly surprised. That's awesome. It also carries a micro SD card, as you can see right in there. That's where it goes. So that is cool. You can record onboard footage even if you don't have a DVR in your goggles or anything like that. You definitely have that option if you want it. And of course the flight times are going to be amazing. The quick little test barely used anything, and that was a couple minutes of flight. So that tells me we're going to get nice long flight times out of this guy. As far as the cons go, the radio, you've got to flip up the FPV holder to be able to see if it's powered on or off. That's not a huge con, but a little bit annoying. I don't understand why they did that, but you know what? Overall, this thing is really impressive, especially for the price point. Check the link in the description to see what that price point is currently. With all that being said, like, comment, and subscribe, and GB Linden out.